We are back again with another Tales from the Trail. Mr. Seth Geib. Damn it. That's the fourth time I've messed up your last name. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's Geib.
Geib.
Yeah.
I'll get it in the next 5 months.
No worries.
We're back again. We're out here at Oak Openings, and Seth is an awesome photographer, and he's going to show me some cool tricks and teach me how to not suck at photography a little bit more. It's pretty freaking cold out right now.
It is. It's a little chilly.
This winter's been a little crazy.
Yeah.
It's like supposed to be 50 in a day or two, and now it's probably about 30.
Yeah.
These drastic weather changes are just driving me insane.
Yeah, and there's not been a lot of snow either, so that's been a little frustrating.
I know. I hate winter without snow.
Yeah.
It's like my least favorite. Because if it's gonna be this nasty and cold and
Might as well do something.
dreary, yeah, it might as well look really nice with all the snow.
Yeah. Well, this little patchy snow is kind of nice too. You get
It's just
contrast and color variations.
crunchy.
Yeah.
So what are you rocking today? What kind of gear did you bring out?
Got my A7 II and my 100 to 400 millimeter lens. Try out some zoom today. See what we can see.
That's a big one.
Yeah, it's got some nice reach to it. But I know we were talking earlier, like I used to shoot a lot of landscape stuff and sort of wide angle, 35 and below. But ever since I got this, it's pretty much not left my camera. So I've been shooting with this for probably the past 6 months or so. So yeah, it's working out nice.
I got the 70 to 300, so it's not like super crazy zoom.
Yeah,
but
it's a good one though. It's a good range.
It's the full frame.
Yeah.
It's it's got the vibration reduction, all that.
Yeah, that's helpful.
I just wanted to show off my new camera.
Don't blame you.
Yeah.
Half the reason you get into it, right?
Yeah, so you can convince. I think the fun part is convincing the battle to convince my wife to let me buy more equipment.
You find that fun?
Yeah, it's
a challenge.
It's like negotiating a closing on a deal. You're just like, I gotta get this. No, she's really great about it. She knows that I'm a psychopath and I like all this expensive stuff.
Yeah, my wife is much the same.
Can you blame them though?
No.
Imagine if they were like, I'm gonna go buy a $1,500, $2,000, I don't know, like
piece of
shoes.
Yeah.
Like what? I mean, whatever, do it.
If it helps you run faster, I guess.
Who am I to blame?
Yeah.
Who am I to say no?
But yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing is, I feel like I can justify it or excuse it because it helps with my craft. And I think if you've got, handle on the fundamentals of photography. Morning. I think that's when better equipment starts helping.
Well, I was rocking a Nikon D5600 for a minute, like 2-3 years.
Yeah.
And I basically tapped out the potential of that camera. Like, you get to a point where you're like, you understand finally what it can't do.
Yeah. And then that's all you want to do.
Yeah. Like Nikon, any lower end camera is not known for having low light capabilities, like that's just not, it's not what they're for. Yeah. It takes great pictures.
Yeah.
A cheaper camera. And
it has to be in the right conditions.
Yeah, and it's, when you're working with low budget stuff, 90% of the time it gets the job done.
Yeah.
But you try and transition to like better quality.
Yeah. Yeah, so you don't have to futz with it as much in post-production. And, you've got more dynamic range and things like that.
The graininess kind of dissipates with those higher end cameras, and the bigger sensors help. You have the mirrorless though.
Yep.
You were trying to talk me into it.
Yeah.
And I still maybe think I may have made a bad decision.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
It's a different realm. It's a different world. I think for me, this, honestly, it's so, when you get up into higher end cameras, you start making these negotiations about the silliest things like weight. Like for me, like the weight of the camera, but then I put this giant lens on it and kind of contradicts that. But I think for me, like the weight, just like lugging it around, carrying it, I don't want to have the camera feel like it's getting in the way of me being able to move around, be nimble and that kind of thing.
Well, and it just looks badass. I mean, look at carrying this thing. People are like, oh, are they out here for National Geographic? Like, yeah, of course.
But I don't know, it looks weird because you got this tiny little body on the end of this huge lens.
And that's the Sony AX.
The A7 II.
A7 II?
Yeah.
That's like, everybody has those now.
Yeah, the Alpha series is pretty legit. The full frame ones. And then they have like the crop sensors as well in the Alpha series. And those are actually really nice too, because it's all interchangeable lens stuff. So
yeah.
You can swap them in and out. And they're all mirrorless.
When I started getting into this stuff, you know, I watched so many YouTube videos.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
that's just all I did was like to understand, because at a certain point, you have to really get down into the details, because that's what makes the spending more money like justifiable.
Yeah.
And one of the things they told me first on YouTube was like, you're basically, once you start down a path with a certain camera brand or something, like you should stick with it, because you already invested so much in glass and that's kind of how I got into Nikon.
Yeah.
I didn't really, when I first got my first camera, it was a Nikon D70.
Nice.
It was a hand-me-down from my grandpa.
Yeah.
And it was sweet.
Yeah.
It was like the first DSLR body style like camera I ever had. It might have been the first one Nikon did. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was.
It's like 10 megapixel.
Yeah.
And it looked just as big, like it's just as huge.
Yeah, the body style hasn't changed in all those years, but tech inside has.
Yeah, the memory card for that thing is like carrying around a block.
Yeah. Is that like giant compact flash?
Yeah. And I mean, that's what I learned on.
Yep.
And this lens actually came from that camera. This lens is probably like 10 or 15 years old.
Well, it's like you said, you know, you invest in the lenses and the glass, and that's where you end up putting most of your money. Then you buy into that ecosystem and you're kind of stuck in it.
When you know the camera too, like you understand how it operates. Like with this camera, the learning curve was so small because I had essentially the same camera.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just better feature.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you don't have to put as much work in.
So when you're out here, we're walking obviously, but like, what are you scoping out? What are you trying to find?
Just areas of contrast differentiation, singled out subjects, things like that. You know, any kind of wildlife, which I'm not really seeing much today. But
well, this time of year, I've seen you post a lot of pictures of squirrels, because that's about the only thing you're gonna find out here half the time.
I honestly, like, they're one of my favorite subjects to shoot, just because, I mean, they're easy to shoot, but they have like a pretty like easy to discern behavior.
Yeah.
And I think with wildlife, that's, I mean, part of the trick of it is learning what your subject's behavior is, how they're gonna react when you start shooting, how close you can get to them. Chipmunks are pretty fun. They're fast. Really fast, but they're also really curious. So if you see a chipmunk on a log or something and it runs away, or you see it hide, all you have to do is just get closer, perch, and it'll pop back up within like 2 or 3 minutes, because they just want to know what you're doing. And then you snap off a bunch of pictures. So learning that kind of stuff, I think is, like I said, it's half the fun of shooting wildlife. Just feeling like you know the animal and what it's gonna do, and then it's constantly surprising you too. Ooh, that's fun.
Hearing something.
Yeah, it sounds like a woodpecker.
Oh, there he is.
Yep.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a pileated woodpecker.
That
that's a big one.
Yeah, those guys have that little chuckle laugh.
Exactly. Woody the woodpecker.
Yep.
Wonder, you think you can see him from here? Neither of us have a lens that's that zoomed.
No,
but
yeah, I'm looking to get an upgraded lens to start doing more bird. Well, not upgrade lens, but a
further
2x magnifier on it.
Oh, okay.
Once I get the new camera, so I can start doing more birds.
Oh, you're getting a new camera?
Probably, I don't know. In end of February, they're supposed to launch the A7 Mark IV. So it's kind of rumored at this point, but that'll have a lot better stabilization and low light performance and things like that. So I'll be able to put that 2X modifier on it, basically turn this into a 200 to 800.
Oh, nice.
So that'll be nice.
This, I'm surprised this lens, for as old as it is, has some really awesome features. It's got like vibration reduction.
Yeah.
Shot video with it just handheld.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously it's shaky.
Yeah, but you can stabilize it afterwards.
Oh yeah, I was blown away because this is old. This is not, this isn't like I just picked this lens up for 1,500 bucks the other day. Like, I don't know what my grandpa paid for it back in the day. I don't know. What's funny is he bought it, and I don't think he knows anything about photography. He probably rocked it in auto. He went on vacation or a cruise or something to who knows where with his wife, and like, I had no idea my whole life he had this camera, and I've always had, growing up, I always had the cheap, like the pocket cams you carry around, and you just, before the cell phones and stuff. Yeah. Those little shitty ones. And like, one day he's like, you want all this old crap? I was like, this old crap? Like, oh my God. And now I'm just sucked in.
Yep. Yeah. It's, like you said, it's addictive.
It is.
Man, I'm not really, the sun was out earlier and it was kind of nice. Not getting too much now.
Yeah, it's a weird, this time of the year always screws with me because it's like, well, it's pretty early in the day right now. Yeah. It's really not that light out. And yeah, there is not that much wildlife. I'm actually kind of stoked we saw a pileated woodpecker because I rarely see them out here.
You heading down the blue trail?
Blue trail, yeah.
I think the blue trail is one of my favorites. Oh yeah. I tend to see a lot of squirrels and chipmunks on this trail. Plus there's just a lot of like nice water features and stuff like that, so you get some variation.
I've always been partial to the silver trail. I don't know why.
Same. It's a nice one too.
You get so much. But yeah, the blue trail, I always get the lengths mixed up, but at Oak Openings, I think the blue trail is close to like 3 miles.
Yeah, it's like 3.5, 3.2, something like that.
It's a nice trail.
Yeah. It's a good one to run if you just want to come out and do like a quick 5K, like run or something too. My wife and I come out here and run a lot, but silver trail is usually our go-to for running. It
used to be about 3.5, 3.2, but I think it's kind of a little bit shorter right now because they're doing some like pine management. Yep. Yeah. But
yeah, you don't go back through that like pine forest anymore.
Yeah.
That place was cool. That's a great place for photography. Like,
oh yeah.
Half the bottoms of the trees are dead, but it's not like the spot where it's really open. It's still pretty dense. So it kind of feels like something out of a fairy tale or like a dead witch's forest or something.
It really is creepy, and it like filters the light in such a cool way with the pine trees because they're like so open.
Stop. Oh. So this kind of stuff's nice too, where you just get a lot of different types of plants and texture. It's always good.
This is why I want to get like a macro lens.
Yeah. I'll tell you, with these zoom lenses though,
get pretty.
Like, I don't know if you can get in there, but I mean, you can get some nice.
Oh wow.
Nice shots, and then like really shallow depth of field.
Yeah, like wide open.
Just try to find a plant we can focus on. Some of these ferns are kind of nice, especially when they're kind of dying or hanging off here. But then we'll try to get the, so if you find a subject, try to find different positions to get into, like crouching low. I think I talked about that when we talked earlier on the podcast. But just like different perspectives, getting down low, getting up higher. It just gives you a lot more intimate feel into the subject matter. Kind of gives you a different perspective too of like maybe what some of the animals would be seeing. But then if you can get like kind of shoot across like up into the trees to get some like vertical lines versus horizontal lines, you know, kind of blow those out with like a short depth of field. That can look kind of nice too. So,
I'm excited to see those pictures.
Yeah, I'll send them over to you. I don't know if they're going to be anything great today, but
Well, what you just showed me through the viewfinder was sweet.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I didn't. This lens 300 is not too bad. I mean, having that other 100 millimeters of focal length would be sweet, but
yeah,
whatever.
I think it's what's crazy about like a zoom lens like that is if you're between like, I don't know, and this may be nothing, but it feels like it to me. Like if you're within like 20 or 30 feet of the subject, the zoom doesn't really seem to do a whole lot. But then if you move like closer than that, it feels really exaggerated. Or if you move further than that, it feels really exaggerated. So I don't know, like it's really good for like portrait photography, which you wouldn't think like a giant zoom lens like this would be good for that.
I see people using zoom lenses quite a bit. They're either using like a zoom or like a 50 millimeter for portrait photography, it seems like.
Yeah, like 85s are really nice for portraits too. But if you've got a lens like that, like the 70 to 300, you can hit that 70 to 85 range for portraits.
Yeah.
And then if you're out doing wildlife, it's a really versatile lens.
I've actually, like, I enjoy going out with one lens.
Yeah.
And just like, you're stuck with that and you have to.
Yep.
Because it forces you to kind of like get good at it.
Yep.
Like I've been rocking this zoom for a minute now, just because for the same reason as you, like, I want to get wildlife, but at the same time, like, it's a little bit more versatile.
Yeah.
Like just rocking a 50 out here for me, like does nothing for me. Like I can't.
It's challenging, yeah.
Like what, I take a picture of this tree and like.
Here, like you got these, like the really bright contrast to the green here on the moss.
Oh yeah, that's sweet.
So that's pretty nice. We've got what looks like some like clearings here from animals digging. I don't know if we can get much here. But like down here where these two trees kind of line up, that's kind of nice. So you can get different focus. Yeah, it's not much of anything. But we'll shoot it anyway.
That's the great thing about memory nowadays, is it's so cheap that you can afford to do that.
Yep. Yeah, you just kind of snap and shoot.
I tried the film photography thing for a hot second, and I was like, yeah, this ain't for me.
Yeah.
It's too much.
it's a lot of post-processing work. Yeah.
It's, you know, like nowadays it's like go. There's no time to just sit down and like, I gotta get this, you know, printed, then I gotta get it made into digital, and then I gotta edit it forever.
Yeah.
Like digital cameras are, if it wasn't for digital cameras, I would not be a photographer, I'll tell you that.
It definitely takes a lot of the encumbrance out of it. Man, it's really mucky back here.
Yeah, this is a real trail. Now we're getting rugged. We're real outdoorsmen. See that? We just walked through some mud.
Glad I wore my boots. Yeah.
I did commentate earlier on how we both pitched matching orange jackets. Is that by choice or?
I don't know.
Do you always buy the crazy colored jackets?
Yeah, fan? I think so. Like I like to stand out.
Yeah.
A little bit. I like to switch it up.
I don't like to admit it, but I do.
Yeah.
And I buy everything on the sale rack, so.
That's the same thing. Like that's why I got this jacket, because it was on sale.
That's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
Like, I could buy the black jacket of the same one for an extra $70.
Yeah.
Or I could take the weird salmon orange one for $70
half the
less.
price. Yeah.
And I'm not good looking anyway, so it doesn't matter. It's not a fashion statement. I'm just out here. I need a warm jacket.
Yep. Yeah, that's all that matters.
The technical gear they make nowadays is so sweet.
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's really muddy.
It's really muddy.
You're welcome.
So this kind of stuff's nice too. This is what I was talking about with the ferns before.
Oh yeah.
And the moss. This stuff's really nice. You can get up in there. Yeah, do little fly-throughs.
Yeah. Oh man, Gimbal was a lifesaver.
Yeah.
Gimbal and GoPro Hero 7 stabilizer combo.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. This is I don't know if you can see, but like using like peaking is really nice. So like you can see all the red spots there. As I move the lens in and out, you can see what's in focus. So that's a really good way to determine what you're shooting and determine what's in focus without having to
screw around.
Screw around or use your viewfinder or zoom in or any of that stuff.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I'd highly recommend turning that on if you've got a camera. Most of the new cameras nowadays come with peaking, but
I don't know if this one does. I don't think it does.
I think it's might be mostly on mirrorless, just because of the way the focus sensor works.
Okay.
So like the kind of crappy thing about DSLRs is they have to move the mirror in order to use their autofocus chip because it lies below the mirror. And this is all probably like boring, but
I love it.
It's interesting because you can get that live view of your focus and everything right through your camera all the time. You don't have to push like a special live view button or anything like that. So that's another one of the main reasons that I went with mirrorless. It just, again, it takes out some of those restrictions and those encumbrances from
let's
shooting.
Look at this camera compared to the size of your camera is like night and day. It's like huge. It's like a block.
Well, when I was first starting to get back into photography about a year ago, I borrowed one of those DSLRs from work. It's a Canon 5D, I think.
Oh, the big boy.
Yeah, and that thing was just a beast, and it would like hurt my arm carrying it around. But I mean, obviously at that point, like I wasn't used to carrying a camera around, but it was still like, it's clunky. And then I tried out one of these, and it was just like night and day.
Well, I have a feeling that there's mirrorless in my future.
Yeah.
Just not the immediate future.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to make that huge investment and redo all my lenses, and
yeah,
it'll come with time.
Yeah.
Oh man,
But you made the switch to were you shooting full frame before?
No.
Okay, so that's what you're saying with like low light.
Yeah,
Gets better. Yeah.
I've been in a lot more situations lately, even outside, which it's not generally about. The outside stuff's not too bad. Like in my opinion, outside stuff's a little bit easier than indoor stuff because the lighting inside any building I've ever been in is just garbage.
Yep.
And you're shooting someone in a room, and to your eye, it looks great. Like they're lit up well. You turn the camera on, it looks like it's like nighttime, and it sucks. And you crank the ISO, you just
it starts getting full of grain.
Yeah, it looks like butt.
Yep.
I was like, I can't have this.
Yeah, studio shooting is really difficult.
And you have to all this extra lighting, all this extra processing.
You want to talk about expensive? That's
oh god, yeah.
That's a whole other realm.
Lighting is a rich man's game.
Yeah.
Just do you do any of the knockoff stuff like on Amazon, like the lower end?
Oh yeah, like Godoc's brand. That's like my go-to for any kind of lighting equipment or stands or flashes or anything like that.
What about batteries? You use the off brands, or do you stick with the?
Actually, I used a lot of Amazon basics. Like if you're just talking like AA's or AAA's or whatever.
That's what I got in all of this equipment right now.
Yeah, rechargeables. I think it's crazy not to buy rechargeables.
Oh yeah.
Not only for the environmental impact, but just like it's just so much easier. You just bring home your camera, you pop them in, you've got fresh batteries.
I always tell my wife half my day spent recharging batteries.
Oh yeah.
I mean, 5 GoPros. That's about 8 batteries.
I don't know how you do that, man.
I don't either. Well-managed time, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, batteries. For your camera though, are you kind of like a purist? Because I did my research, and by research I mean I watched crap load of YouTube videos of people who just like me who can say whatever they want on the internet, and people generally believe them for some reason. So that's great.
Yeah. You've got experience.
I've found that from the popular opinion is that certain brands of off-brand batteries for your camera are okay, and certain brands are not. Yeah,
I mostly just like, I mean, I have, I think 3 batteries for this camera. And this camera, the one downside to mirrorless cameras is that they chew through batteries a lot because you're not using a mirror to expose the viewfinder.
Okay.
So it's constantly having to run the CMOS sensor. Mm-hmm. So it just chews through batteries. But so this one, the A7 II is like notoriously bad with batteries. And it's gotten significantly better with the newer models, but I only carry 3 batteries with me.
Me too.
And I've never had any problems. So I've got like one legit Sony one that came with the camera, and then I've got 2 off-brand ones and an off-brand charger, and I've not had any problems. The same performance from both. I just look at reviews online, and it's got 4.5 stars. You're good to go.
Yeah, I heard a lot of actually my camera guy Jeff on the show, he has the same camera.
Yeah.
And he bought like the really cheap batteries, like the $10 ones. And him and the other guy both had them swell up and they couldn't get them out of the cameras. We were like prying it out with a knife. So it made me super nervous because this camera's expensive. That camera's expensive. It's like, but the brand that everybody was telling, I saw online was like Wasabi, I think. They're saying that brand is like, because I think they make them in America actually. They don't have to like, they're not shipped overseas and they're like more regulated, but
get better quality checks and stuff like that.
That's what I bought.
Yeah, Wasabi is really good. That's not what I use. I think I use like Ravco or something.
That's the other brand.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I've been pretty pleased with it so far.
I always get nervous with my equipment with batteries and stuff, but like I've never had an issue.
Yeah.
And with carrying 3 batteries, you make a good point because as long as you don't leave your camera on all the time, you can manage those batteries super well. I did a 3-day trip into New Hampshire with just my Nikon D5600 and a zoom lens and a kit lens. And that's all I had with me. I shot all 3 days video of the trip.
Oh, wow. Just with those 3 batteries?
Just with those 3 batteries. Because I picked my shots very carefully.
Wow.
And I actually didn't use the full of the 3rd battery.
Wow. I mean, were you shooting like shorter like B-roll stuff?
Yeah, well we were out there with
just like quick shots?
A group, Mountain Mentors.
Oh,
so we were like filming the kids and I made them like a little video.
Yeah.
It was a pretty heavy production though. Hey,
morning.
How's it going? And but yeah, I just picked the shots very carefully. I'd like run ahead of the group and I'd get them all walking past, or I'd get the B-roll of them. When you're in the mountains, you don't have to work that hard.
Yeah.
You just like, okay, good, beautiful. And I did have a GoPro.
Yeah.
So I wasn't strictly using the DSLR, and these batteries aren't great either. We're already half dead.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you don't shoot in 4K, right?
No.
No. Okay.
I think my computer would explode.
Yeah.
I should.
Yeah.
I've been advised to by you specifically and pretty much everybody else.
I mean, if you don't have the space and you don't have the processor and the GPU to support it, like.
Well, I'm just mostly a YouTube guy. Like 1080's fine. I don't. For my own personal stuff, it's more than enough for me.
Yeah, I think unless you're shooting, you know, like art films or something that really warrants the detail, I think you're right. But
I let this stuff do the work for me. Exactly. I don't really work too hard on this stuff, as you can probably tell.
No, it's good stuff, man.
I just like hanging out. Like, I don't know if people think there's some sort of script. I literally just busted the camera out and was like, "Hey, dude, let's go." Like, I don't. It's fun. It's not a chore. Yep. It's just enjoyable.
Yeah, it is.
A good excuse to have to go hike for an hour.
Yep.
Love it. Talk about camera gear. what could be bad about that? I use a lot of off-brand stuff. I use so much of it, like, because it's affordable.
Yeah. It's a good way to get into it. And then, I mean, like you said, you don't, until you really start to hone your craft, you don't really know what you're missing. So I think to start off with, it's great. It's a great way to go. And honestly, like, I mean, a lot of the people that I know, like I work at a marketing agency, like we tend to use
very
off-brand stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, it's cheap. It works, but I mean, like our main cameras and our main lenses and stuff, like we invest the money in it.
Yeah.
Because that's where it really matters. Like a battery, I mean, yeah, it can kind of screw you if it doesn't work, but
that's why you have 12.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You want to see a crazy battery setup, you should come to our place and check out our camera locker. They've got just like a wall of chargers, like all drilled into the wall, and they just snap them in. They're all labeled with like label makers.
Videographer's wet dream.
Yeah, those guys went nuts when we moved into our new building. Yeah.
That's one of the hard things to explain when you're buying all this stuff. It's like Amazon is just like, I have a home delivery base at Amazon basically. Like they might as well just set up shop in my home.
Yeah.
Just like
a distribution
yeah,
center.
there's always, I ordered a microphone last night.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to, my band, we're going up and shooting a thing in a cabin in a couple of weeks, and we do these live acoustic guitar plays through, where we all like rehearse our asses off. But me and my friend Jason both love this kind of stuff, so we're like anal retentive about it sounding good. So I had to, like, the Zoom recorders are great for audio. Actually, that's what I'm recording on right now in my pocket. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got distracted.
Oh yeah. Beautiful.
But like,
speaking of audio.
Yeah, amazing. And then you want everything to be good, so you want to mic up the acoustic guitars with like condenser mics, large diaphragms, get the like nice crisp.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
You just get down this rabbit hole and you're just like, you can't, it's like being addicted to crack. You can't stop. You're like, but I need it.
Just one more piece of equipment.
Come on.
That's all I need.
Come on.
I don't know how many times I've said that to my wife. It's just like, you know, I'm gonna buy this and then I'm not gonna buy anything for a while. Like,
done.
I'll be good.
And she looks at you like you're out of your mind.
Yeah,
like I've heard that one before.
She calls me on it every day.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, you're not alone.
I'm well aware. Yeah, like you said, YouTube videos. It's a constant running theme is, why are you buying so much equipment? Why do you need it? But it's all good.
Well, you have to be prepared for especially in outdoors shooting. Nothing's ever static. You have to be very prepared for every situation. Like, like to me, the best investment I ever made was this gimbal.
Yeah.
For this kind of stuff. I mean, the GoPro already has amazing stabilization.
Yeah.
But you can tell it's digital, and you're moving around like this, and the GoPro's
warping.
Yeah, and you can tell. But with the gimbal, and this, I think you and I talked about this before. How affordable this stuff is nowadays, just mind blowing.
Yeah.
To do this 10 years ago would have cost probably like $3 grand. To do this simple vlog.
Easily. Yeah.
Like a few $100 invested in this. Like it's so great.
Yeah, I mean, you can basically have your own production studio with a couple $1,000s worth of equipment.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, it's not going to be like super high caliber, but it gets the job done. If you've got good stories to tell and you've got good content, it doesn't matter, you know?
Well, I think a lot of people are...
This kind of stuff's kind of nice too with the...
Oh yeah, that looks sweet.
Snow, just different textures. Try shooting down here. Maybe.
I've come to notice, I think people are a little bit more forgiving nowadays of maybe a little more amateurish editing and quality. Yeah. Because YouTube's huge. It's like, it's the new television. Like,
oh, for sure, yeah. Easily.
Like amateur stuff, even with like mid-level production value, is still like killing it. Like, people are a lot more forgiving of that than it used to just be TV. That's all there was.
Yep.
You want to hit this one? Or
yeah, we'll go this way.
Are you a fan of the paved trails?
I mean, they're all right. It's fun to run on them, I think, just because you get a little bit of variance between, you know, paved and unpaved trails. Kind of works your body in different ways, but like if I'm out shooting, I try to avoid them. Because there's a lot more people, less wildlife.
Speaking of which, I haven't seen much.
Nope.
In the way of squirrels. No. I didn't even turn my camera on yet.
Yeah, well, you gotta cut your hands busy.
I'm a little preoccupied, but hey.
That's all right. We can always shoot a little too after we stop filming.
Absolutely.
That'll be good. Give that camera a test.
Well, it's snowing right now too. That's actually awesome.
Yeah.
I just noticed that.
Yep.
Probably can't see it on the video, but.
Yeah, that's where the 4K would come in.
Oh, okay. This camera does shoot in 4K.
I know.
I was looking at it the other day. It just came out with the 8.
Yep. Yeah.
And I couldn't find a reason to spend the extra $65. I really couldn't.
Yeah, I think from what I've read, the 8 has like better stabilization, which is kind of hard to believe. But yeah, the optic or the electronic stabilization is supposedly a lot better.
well known as a GoPro fanboy.
Yeah.
I love it. That's what allowed me to get into video in the first place. They're affordable.
Yep.
They're indestructible.
Yeah.
And they're light, and you throw them in your pocket, you throw them down a mountain, nobody cares.
Yep.
I've shot arrows at them. You could carry 5 in your pocket.
Yeah. It's a great piece of equipment.
I've found that the new ones have just as good a video as my DSLR.
Yeah.
You can unbend the lens in post-production.
Yep, just de-warp it. And
love it.
yeah. That's the other thing too, is like if you're shooting 4K, you have a lot more forgiveness for stabilization, and especially with a wide lens like that, if you go into like After Effects or something and you do like a tracked warp stabilizer or whatever, you can...
Oh, I've used that one plenty.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah. I've been actually kind of experimenting with that lately, shooting just like some little short form video stuff just to kind of test out my camera and get used to After Effects again. It's been a little while since I've used it.
Yeah, I don't want to admit it, but yes.
But just trying out that kind of just basic editing stuff and then posting that to my Instagram.
What's your thoughts on Instagram?
I love it.
I think it's the best.
Yeah, I think there's a really good community on there, especially for photographers. I mean, obviously photographers, but like I think everybody to an extent as a photographer that's on Instagram, and I might catch flack for that, but I don't know, like I think I've always been the kind of person that really believes that art is in the eye of the beholder, and like beauty is in the eye of the beholder when it comes to art. I think anything is acceptable as art because everybody's got different skill levels and everybody's out there trying to do their best.
Oh yeah.
And even when they're not, like even if there's people who are just being lazy and they're just putting stuff up, like it's still something to look at and it still makes you feel something. You're
sharing a part of like your day-to-day life, or
yeah.
I mean, if you scroll back through my Instagram, even like 2 years ago, my stuff I was posting was crap. Like it was just, I had no good equipment. It was just garbage. And like, I feel like I've come a long way, and I follow a ton of people, and I've like watched a lot of people get significantly better over time, and I'm just like, this is sweet.
Yeah.
Like I watched this dude posting cell phone pics. Now he's got a $3,000 DSLR, like blowing me out of the water. I'm like, hell yeah, man. Like,
yeah,
I love it.
I was on Instagram the other day, and I was looking at this guy who does illustrations, and like they're just killer illustrations. He does like these time-lapse recordings of him like painting digitally and stuff.
Those are so cool.
And his stuff is just insane. But I did the same thing, and I scrolled back through his profile, and like a year and a half ago, he was posting stuff that just looked like it looked like remedial, like school, like elementary school style, like drawings and stuff.
Yeah.
And this guy, he just decided like he's gonna post every single day, do a different drawing every single day. And now he's got like, he could be doing like concept art for HBO or like, like it's insane. Like I think if you just apply yourself and you're consistent with it, that's all it takes. I mean, you're gonna get better. There's no way you're not.
I love it because it holds me accountable, because I post pretty much every day.
Yep.
And it almost sets me a schedule.
Yeah, exactly.
It gives me like something to work towards.
Yep.
And I have to like pick apart these long form videos I make and pick out interesting stuff. So it kind of helps your brain like start to like work better around a production space. Like, and it's awesome. I love it. You have to put in a lot of work, but you get better at it, and it's faster, and you can put out more. And,
yeah, you develop an eye and get your own style,
and you have a community out there that's gonna rip you apart if you suck, or you know, like people call me out on shit, and it's awkward, but it's like, hey man, like I'm not that good at. I never claimed to be a pro.
Yeah. You're doing it because it's fun, and you're doing it because it's what you love.
I had this guy call me out the other day and said, he's like, why did you unfollow me? I was like, you post weird stuff, and it's not what I'm into. Why do you care? Like, people get weird about that stuff.
Yeah.
It's strange. Like, maybe something you said I didn't agree with, and I didn't want to hear it anymore. So it's free country, man. I can do unfollow whoever I want. I don't care. It's just weird. Yeah,
I mean, I think if there's a genuine curiosity of like why you chose to do something, and people are concerned about it, like I'm fine answering people, but
oh yeah, I do all the time.
If they just are there to troll and get you pissed off at something, like
I'm not gonna delete the comments. Like,
yeah,
you can say whatever you want, dude.
Yeah.
Like, go ahead.
Thankfully, I've like I'm not like popular enough on Instagram to have really run into that yet.
Yeah, it'll happen.
Yeah, I'm sure it will, and like it's fine. But like I don't know, like I think as long as you are posting positive content, like I think people are gonna react positively, and maybe that's just me being naive, but
well, I come from a long line of putting myself out there on the internet for as long as the internet's been out.
Yeah.
Been in bands, music, we were always posting songs, music. And at one point I was writing articles for this website called The Trek. They're like a big backpacking website.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're write an article and like 10,000 people see it.
Yeah.
And you're just like, you open yourself up to just be shredded. I remember I made the mistake of looking in the comments once.
Yeah.
Dude, I was like, might as well just go die. Like, screw me, right?
Yeah.
God forbid I put my opinion out there.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even an uninformed opinion.
Yeah.
I was writing about through hiking. That's what I did. I did it, you know. It's not like
Yeah.
I just made it up and I was giving my opinion about somebody's movie that I didn't have any part in.
Were they just like
Awkward.
ripping you apart because your equipment and like your lack of experience, or what?
No, just they didn't agree with what I said, and because I don't know how much you are into backpacking.
Not as much as I want to be.
I think that's most people.
Yeah.
We can change that.
I'm down.
I wrote an article about how in backpacking, it's kind of like in any field, photography, anything, there's always opinions. Like people out there with crop sensors are saying, oh, you don't need full frame. Oh yeah, those people are full of shit. You got people out there with the mirrorless that are saying, oh, you don't need to, like, but in the end, who cares?
Yeah.
It's just what you like and what works for
preference,
you.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with backpacking, and I've always been under the impression of, just like with what we talked about here, you don't need the best equipment to put out good work.
Nope.
You don't need the best equipment to through hike. You don't need the most expensive. You don't need the lightest.
Yeah. Well, and like if you're not using the best equipment, you're getting something that somebody that's using the best equipment isn't getting. And that's experience, and you're learning from it, you know? And like you're never gonna learn why you need the best equipment if you don't go out and use crappy equipment first.
Exactly.
So like, I think it's fine either way. I think it's good if you go out and use crappy equipment. I think it's fine if you have the money and you wanna spend on good equipment. Like,
well, sometimes you literally just can't afford it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm at a point in my life now, finally, where I can afford this stuff because I've put in, you know, what, 15, 20 years in the workforce already, and I built up like myself and my finances, and I can afford better equipment now. But back when I couldn't, I had crappy equipment. Like that's just what it was. And like, so yeah, they basically just were like criticizing me because I was trying to empower people that didn't think they could do it. Like, you don't need the best equipment. They're like, this jackass, he doesn't know his head from his, like, who are you? Like, you know, it's such a tenuous thing, especially in writing too.
Yeah.
I never wanted to be a writer, ever. Not particularly great at it. I don't really enjoy it too much, but that's that world. People just shred you, blogs.
Yeah. Well, people are, I think I don't know, like coming from an art school background, I think we talked about this before off camera for a little bit too, is coming from an art school background, like people are competitive. People are worried that the more people that get into their industry or their craft, they're going to get competition, and they're scared of it.
It's just the nature of the world, though. That's how things operate.
Yeah, I know. And like you said, as camera technology gets better and makes it more approachable, like there's going to be more competition.
Oh yeah.
But like, don't see that as like, see it as a challenge, but see it as a positive challenge. Don't get offended by it. Like, embrace it. Well, help those people learn. Like, you know, there's plenty of money to be made in photography.
Oh yeah.
Just by helping educate people. And like, I think that's kind of where I want to take things eventually, is doing like photography tours and like camps and things like that, where I can go out and help educate other people that want to get into the industry. Because I mean, most people treat it as a hobby, and like, that's great. But if you want to try to be a professional photographer, like, I don't see why the industry has to be so brutal. Like, just accept people in and help people out. We'll all learn.
Everything that I've ever been, even like semi quote unquote successful in my life, is only because I did what I thought was the right thing. And I did it the way I wanted to do it. And I wasn't like, even with what I'm doing right now, I'm really obviously into this podcasting and vlogging. I'm not competing with anyone. Like I'm putting out what I want because I like to do it. And it's like, there's people out there that are way, way better and more qualified than me to be doing this stuff. But I'm just doing it my way because that's all I can do. And you eventually, and people get worried about, how do I create my own niche? You just have to go.
You already have it.
You don't even like, you
already have it just by being you.
Yeah, exactly. Like there is 1,000 vlogs doing exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm just doing it from my perspective, and that's all I care about. And the people around me that I know. And like, I think if they can block out the hate and just rip their path. Because the more content you're putting out and the more you're talking and doing, it's the less time you're worrying about what other people are doing.
Exactly, I
mean, I'm doing this every day of the week almost. And I love it.
I mean, I post on Instagram. I've been posting on Instagram daily.
For a minute.
New posts daily for about a year now. And like you said, it encourages you to go out and do it. It keeps you from like getting too hard on yourself because you're being consistent with it. So like, at least you're doing something right. Like if you can keep that consistency, you've always got a positive affirmation of what you're doing because that's the goal you set for yourself and you're meeting it. Like if other people don't like it, like at least you've got that internal voice that says, well, at least I'm sticking to it and I'm being consistent.
Well, I think kind of
I think that's an easy win.
In the creative world, a lot of people get offended when people don't like their work. And I have never, I mean, of course your feelings get hurt because you created something and someone's shitting all over it. But at the same time, it's like, nobody's forced to like anything. Like it's, like that's why people out there like romance or action or whatever, like they usually don't like both. Like, it's like, everybody's allowed to like their own thing. And like, why make such a big deal out of it?
I agree.
I don't know, it's weird. But it's just, I think it's human nature to be competitive also.
It is. I mean, and it drives progress too. Like it has its perks, but.
Well, I could have, from my perspective, I could have been like, this dude takes better pictures than me, I'm gonna show him. I was like, hell no, I wanna hang out with this guy. Like, let's hang out and like.
Learn something.
Well, I mean, we both have a hobby in common or a profession in common. Why compete? Like, the only thing that's gonna suffer is this area. Like, you have such a small niche of nature photographers and people like that locally. And if we all start arguing and fighting, like the greater picture and goal of my eyes is gonna suffer.
Because we're gonna bring each other down.
Like my goal is to promote this. We're walking through this awesome, plain of woods and for an hour almost, and it doesn't get any better than that.
Nope. I mean, that's really the ultimate goal or the ultimate reason that I come out and do this is just to be out in nature, honestly.
Are you big time into running, like daily, weekly?
I go on and off. Right now I'm kind of in a slump. Like I've mostly just been working, like just doing other types of working out, not so much running.
I'm in a very large slump lately.
But my wife's a pretty big runner. We do a lot of trail runs, a lot of 5Ks, 10Ks, done a few half marathons, but nothing major. Like, I mean, that's a whole other like story, but like I'd like to eventually get into longer distance stuff, especially trail running. I find it really intriguing.
I mean, I'm not built like a trail runner, obviously, but I've never been a small framed kind of guy. But I mean, to put it in perspective, upon completing the Appalachian Trail, 6 months of hiking between 15, 20 miles a day.
I bet you're in great shape.
I weighed 195 pounds, dude.
Holy
like
cow.
That was my lightest.
Jeez.
So it's like I'm not of long distance running stock, I would say. But hey, I do enjoy it, getting out on the trails. I'm just slow and big and clumsy.
And that's fine.
But it's sweet.
That's your style. Whether you like it or not.
This trail's great. I love running this trail.
It is. It's beautiful. This is one of my favorite areas, actually.
Oh, I think this is called Gale Run. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
But it's like,
the water's just so clear. And again, it's kind of like the snow we looked at before. You get these like nice textures below the water.
How do you approach water in photography? Because I find it very tricky.
No, I mean, like, I think if you get like a polarizing filter,
okay,
it'll knock all the reflection off the top of the water, and you can start to get a lot of the texture underneath. Or if you're shooting like fish and stuff like that. So, yeah, polarizing filters are something that I really just kind of got into within the past like 6 or 7 months, but it helps a lot with waters, like water photography or glass, things like that.
I think I have like, the highest one I have right now is like an ND8 or something.
Yeah.
And I've used it a ton because I'm always, in the summertime, you're shooting out noon in direct sunlight, which is like the worst idea ever, but sometimes it's all you got, you know? Like, it's the only thing you have to work with, so.
Yeah. Yeah, so like an ND filter is good for, like you said, if you want to do longer exposures during daylight. But like that's actually different than a polarizing filter. Sometimes, a lot of times they combine them into one. But
I just have like the cheap ones. So.
Yeah.
Like the kit.
And that's, I mean, if you're just kind of messing around, that's what you should start with.
Well, I mostly do video.
Yeah.
So I need the like, the larger apertures.
Yep.
Because you can't change the frame rate.
Yep.
So that's why I got them.
Yeah, you have to use an ND then. But yeah, look into, just go grab like a cheap polarizer, even if you use it on like your GoPro and stuff. It just, especially in the wilderness, it makes, so what it does is basically it just blocks, polarizes the light. So it blocks a lot of reflection. So on like leaves and stuff, you won't get that sheen on a leaf. It'll cut that right out. And so you get a lot more detail in woods and wilderness areas. You get a lot more detail in like blue skies and things like that. And then it completely not completely, but pretty much gets rid of any kind of reflection that's off of a non-metallic surface. So it'll knock the reflection like right off the water so you can see underneath it.
The thing I've been considering getting one of those for, well, ND filters really, is my drone.
Yeah.
That thing is so bad in light.
Yep. Yeah, I've got a set on my Mavic Air.
It blows out. I don't know if the camera is really good on it, but it's like, if you're flying in the daylight, it's just blown out. The sky's just like, and with that, I found it's really tough because the only thing you can really do on the fly is adjust the frame rate on the, and then it starts to look all, especially when you're moving, choppy and weird. And so, do you run into that a lot sometimes? I mean, you work in the field and you work with people who do this all the time. Yeah. How often do you like, well, we got to use this shot because it's the only one we have?
Oh yeah, it happens a lot.
Because,
or you have to, like, you're forced to go out and reshoot.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
that happens a lot. Like, I hear stories, like I've only been on a few shoots with our video team. Yeah. Mostly for drone stuff. Yeah, I hear stories. Well, like they'll lose a hard drive and they've got to go out and like completely reshoot interviews or something. Like, it happens. Like,
oh, it's brutal.
It's fine. Like, I mean, it's not, I don't think that's a sign of, you know, a bad videographer, a bad photographer. Like, it happens. It happens to everybody. I mean, especially with such sensitive equipment and out like this. Dude, I don't know how I haven't, well, I've lost a few things here and there, but like, man, this equipment we're carrying around is so fragile. Yeah. Like, these cameras, if I pop the lens off and I get a little snow on the sensor, a little scratch, like, it's basically over. Like, I have to get it replaced and fixed. And yeah, I don't know. I think you asked me before if I was, I think on the podcast, if I was gentle with my equipment, and I don't like to think that I am. I like to think of it, you know, kind of as a tool, like a hammer. It's something that I need to use to get the job done. Oh yeah. But like, I obviously don't want to be reckless with it and break it, but not something this expensive. Yeah. But I mean, I'll take it out in the rain. I'll take it out in the snow. Well, sometimes if I'm out on like in the backcountry or something, I don't have a choice. Like, it's with me. Yeah, exactly. I carry a lot of. Yeah. I used to be a lightweight backpacking guy, but now I've added about 20 pounds in my pack with just camera equipment, so I have to be a little stronger. Yeah, I try to be as minimal as possible, but squeeze over here. Yeah. Hey, we're almost back. Morning, sir. This is a cool spot too. Yeah. It smells really bad though in the summer. It does. This pond smells like someone just is continuously farting. Well, it's not really supposed to be a pond. This area is not really meant to have little lakes in it like that. Yeah, no. They're all
man-made.
Yep.
Can't believe we didn't see a single squirrel.
I know.
We weren't really looking too hard though.
Yep.
Kind of BSing the whole time.
Probably chatting so loud they're not coming near us.
Well, we'll get some pictures after. It would be nice to not have to carry this camera around in my hand.
Yeah.
And try and take some photos.
Yeah, I don't think there's ever really a bad hike or a bad photography session. If I can get like 1 or 2 pictures, I'm good. Pretty content.
Shit, if I get no pictures and I just get to hang out outside for an hour, I'm always happy with that.
Exactly. Yep. It's always positives.
Well, you know, just like anything else, everybody wants. I've noticed a lot of people like say they want to get into photography, say they want to get into video, say they want to do whatever, work out. And the moment it gets difficult, it's like game over, like done.
Yeah.
What do you find you had to? I mean, there's a learning curve for everything, but like especially photography. You're talking like all this stuff we talked about with like ND filters and aperture and focus and all that. Like people are just like, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's just you do it enough, and you don't have to think about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you're looking, I'd just be like, I know what I need to shoot this right now. You just dial it in and go.
Yeah. I mean, I think the easy path through that is like it's specifically for photography. Like you said, if you know you like photography and you want to get into it, go out and buy just like a little compact camera.
Yeah.
Shoot with that. And I mean, that's going to be doing a lot of the work for you. You're not going to get amazing quality photos, but that's not what you should be judging yourself on. Well, like just judge yourself on consistency and see if it's really something that you love doing. I
shot super dark photos for so long.
Yeah.
Until I like understood why.
Yeah.
And I thought I wanted it like that, but it just looks dim and bad.
Yeah.
And like, it just comes with time. And even those like really entry-level DSLRs are great. My buddy has like, it's like a Nikon D3500 or something.
Yep.
I've used that thing a ton when I didn't bring my camera or something, and he wants to shoot something on the fly.
Yeah.
It looks fine.
Yep.
I mean, it's limited.
Yeah.
It has capabilities that aren't, you know, professional. But if you edit it and do some post-processing and it looks fine.
I mean, if you've got a, like if they invented a camera that just did everything for you, made your pictures look beautiful.
You'd be out of a job.
Like, well, yeah, a lot of people have got to work, but like you wouldn't learn anything. Like you wouldn't learn like what proper exposure is. You wouldn't learn how to use different depth of field and like different apertures.
Exactly.
So, like it forces you to learn.
Well, I think we've hit the end of the trail. We made it the full hour loop.
Yeah,
and it was nice hanging out with you again. And we'll shut this guy off and we'll go take some more pictures.
Sounds good.
Actually find some animals this time. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next time. Hey YouTube, thank you so much for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe. We have so much content lined up, it's insane. I don't even know how I'm gonna edit it all and get it out to you, but I'm super stoked. So remember, please subscribe, keep coming back for more Aptitude Outdoors.